Hello there, friends. It's Jimmy Maverick, and I just found out that I am going to be picking 10th in an experts league this weekend. It is a 10-team league, the Piggyback Picks League. It is a PPR that's going to be happening on ESPN, and so we are going to go ahead. We're going to do a mock draft here on ESPN to try to figure out what kind of team we can get, and we're going to use my app, My Perfect Fantasy Draft, to help us pick players. You can access this app exclusively through my website, fantasyfootballmaverick.com, and I'm going to show you how quick and easy it is to set up right now. We're going to do a quick setup. This allows you to build a fully customized draft list in just a few minutes. But the quick setup is, how does your league score points? Well, it is a full point PPR. Do you want to engage Jimmy's recommended player filters? We're going to go ahead and we're going to say yes. And then what is the size of your league? And what is your draft position? And we are going to go ahead and enter draft mode to break this list down based on these league settings. Now you can see it is almost to our pick, actually our first pair of picks, and according to the app, it is recommending the following players: Travis Kelce, Juju Smith-Schuster, Mike Evans. Those are all fine choices, although I do like to start with a running back. The running backs, the highest rated running backs right now, Todd Gurley, James Conner, Joe Mixon. Let's go ahead and see what kind of players are still on the board. So if we look at just the running backs, let's look at just the running backs. Well, there's Conner. Looks like Gurley is already gone. So, but look, Le'Veon Bell's still on the board. I don't expect him to be there. Not really interested in Melvin Gordon. James Conner, again, love the team, love the offense. Whoever is going to be the running back there is going to be an RB1. James Conner's a great choice. He does have some injury concerns, right? But I'm not so worried about it. And we could always pick up Jaylen Samuels late, and that's an easy pickup late in the game. Now, as far as wide receivers, what wide receivers are still available? We've got, look, Davante Adams, DeAndre Hopkins are both on the board. They are both long shots for this round. You see this little gun here? This indicates that they are long shots, which means they less than a 50-50 chance that they would be available by the time it gets to our pick. If one of them makes it to us, that would be absolutely amazing. And it looks like Hopkins got taken. Adams is still on the board, but other running backs, wide receivers that I like: Juju Smith-Schuster, Mike Evans, Tyreek Hill. And of course Davante Adams got taken as well. So I'm not too worried about that. Let's go ahead and let's take James Conner with our first pick, and let's go ahead and I'm going to grab Juju Smith-Schuster. We're just going to go, we're going to go Steelers first, second round. That's a great way to start this draft. They're going to be a great team this year. Don't even worry about Antonio Brown not being there. This team has a system. They are the best managed team in football. They are going to be good. Now, once you've made your first pick, you just go to the next round and you pick, you look at, 3, 4, it is recommending Brandon Cooks, Robert Woods, Marlon Mack. Those are all great choices. But what I really want to do is I want to try to get one of the elite tight ends. And you can see they're both long shots to get back to us, but I'm hoping one of them does, because Kittle or Ertz is a difference maker for your team. If for some reason neither of these guys make it to us in the next round, I will go and get Mahomes with my first pick, because again, positional dominance is what we're going for here. But let's queue up Kittle and Ertz. Let's also let's look at the running backs. So we've got Marlon Mack, Damian Williams, James White, not real interested in, but both Marlon Mack and Damian Williams, again, both quality offenses. These guys are going to have production. They're going to be productive. Again, Kansas City is a team that regularly shoots out RB1s, and he is not a bad choice at this juncture. He's actually a little bit more versatile than Marlon Mack, but Marlon Mack has just a little bit more value. See how his value rank is 39 versus Damian Williams at 42. Let's see here. Anyone else have better? Well, there's Devonta Freeman, who has a value rank of 29, but I just don't trust Devonta Freeman to want to take him at this point in the draft. So let's go ahead and we'll get these guys queued up. I'm just going to pause the video. We'll come right back and we'll see who we end up with. All right, so it's almost back to us. Look, Ertz and Kittle are still both on the board. We are definitely going to take one, and then I am inclined to get another running back. Running backs just thin out so quickly anymore. You've got to take full advantage. You got to get your good ones early. Wide receivers are a much deeper position. There are still decent wide receivers available late. So that's kind of what we're looking at right now. Look, there's Kerryon Johnson is still available too. Kerryon Johnson is a guy who I'm very interested in. Was not supposed to make it to this round, and who knows, he might still be gone, but he does rate very well. His value rank is 22. But he is gone. I spoke too soon. He was just taken right before our pick. So let's go ahead. Let's grab our elite tight end. We'll grab Zach Ertz. And then as far as running backs go, again, we do have Mack and Williams queued up. Josh Jacobs is still on the board. Derrick Henry, who normally I like very much, but he is injured right now. I don't take injured players. Let's go with Marlon Mack. He is our top recommended choice for this round. That offense is going to be great this year. They're really, really good. I am a little concerned about Andrew Luck, but I think he's probably only going to miss a couple of games, and then he will be back. So let's go. Now let's go to the next rounds, the 5th, 6th round. And this is the round where we're going to target a quarterback. So obviously the chances of getting Mahomes are not great. Well, he's a long shot here. He would be quite a coup if he is still available at our next pick. But you got Aaron Rodgers, you got Matt Ryan, you got Deshaun Watson. Those are all great choices. If we wait till the next round, we have an outside shot at Aaron Rodgers, but Baker Mayfield is there. Cam Newton is there. There's Andrew Luck. Again, I'm not really dealing with Andrew Luck right now, but we might want to just wait till the next round. We really need to continue to stock up on our running backs, and you can see here that there's some good choices. Phillip Lindsay, David Montgomery, and some choices that don't really interest me. Lamar Miller, Tariq Cohen, Tevin Coleman is all right, but the values on a lot of these players are getting really poor. Phillip Lindsay and David Montgomery offer fair value, and so they're good choices at this point in the draft. But Tevin Coleman, value rank of 82 versus our draft pick 50, 51, again, not a great choice. So let's see. Let's go and, I thought it was queuing me to get that we were going to be back on our pick, but that is not the case. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to queue up some players. We'll pause the video. We'll come right back and we'll see where we're at. All right, so it's almost back to us. Patrick Mahomes still on the board. It looks like Phillip Lindsay was just taken, but David Montgomery still on the board as well. So if those two make it to this next pick, only one guy to go, that's who I'm going to go with. And that is going to be a staggeringly good team to bring in with me. And of course it's not going to happen, right? Of course it's not going to happen. Mahomes just got taken. So let's go ahead. We will take David Montgomery. And let's see here. I'm going to look here at the other running backs that are still on the board. And you can see, again, not great value. This is what happens, man. I mean, the running backs just thin out so quickly. Now, we could definitely go for someone like Austin Eckler. This would be our 4th running back, so I think that's a good choice. And again, we're going to go ahead. We're going to get our quarterback on the next round. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to take Eckeler here just because of the Gordon holdout. And let's go back and let's look at the 7th, 8th round. I love the idea of going for Baker Mayfield. I think he is going to be outstanding this year. That offense is so talented, has so many good players on it. There's tons of upside here. So Mayfield would be my first choice, and I think Cam Newton would be my second choice on this list of players. So let's go ahead. I'll get them queued up. And then for my second player, let's look at the running backs this round. And again, just not great value. See, there's Austin Eckler right there. So we already got him, so we don't need to worry about that. We could go for someone like Darrell Henderson, who is another player. Again, it's a sneaky pick, but if Gurley has any issues, Henderson's going to be an RB1. That's a big upside play and certainly has more upside than someone like Royce Freeman or Duke Johnson. Those guys are – I don't even know why Duke Johnson's up this high. That's crazy. Who's taking Duke Johnson at that point in the draft? Anyway, there's no accounting for logic when it comes to how the order that the fantasy players are taken in. If we also look at wide receivers, there's some good options here. Look, Robby Anderson, Jarvis Landry, Marvin Jones, not real interested in. Christian Kirk, Jonte Pettis, both okay options. But I like Robby and Jarvis. So let's go ahead. I'm going to get these guys queued up. We'll come right back when it's our pick, and we'll make our decision. All right, so it's almost back to our pick now. You can see all our choices are still on the board: Mayfield, Newton, Henderson, Anderson, and Landry. We have only taken, what's going on here? We have only taken one wide receiver, so I think we should go. Quarterback, wide receiver on this round. That'll fill out our roster, and I think that puts us in a really good position for the rest of this draft. So, someone was just taken. Who just fell off? Jarvis Landry was just taken. That's all right. This happens every draft. This is why you have options, and this is why you use the queue. The queue is very important to letting you know who is still on the board that you are interested in. So let's go ahead. We're going to take Baker. Love Baker. I think that's just such a tremendous upside pick. Let's take Robby Anderson as our second wide receiver. And basically, our whole starting lineup is set at this point. Look, you got quarterback Baker Mayfield, running back James Conner, Marlon Mack, David Montgomery, and Austin Eckler. Our wide receivers are Juju Smith-Schuster and Robby Anderson. Our tight end is Zach Ertz. This is the kind of team that on a week-to-week basis is going to have an advantage over its opponents. And that's what you're looking for. That's what you want out of your fantasy team in these smaller leagues. So now we're going to go fill out our bench, again, continuing to look for good high upside players, good value players. And that's one thing also. If you use this value rank, this is one of the most important stats that I use when I'm looking at players. But look at the tremendous range in value between the best value player, in this case Larry Fitzgerald, and the worst, who is Geronimo Allison. Look, 65 to 115. There is 5 rounds of value difference in the best player, between the best player and the worst player in this round. That is just staggering, and you're not going to win if you pick poor value players. So I think Larry Fitzgerald is absolutely a target on the next round. You can see that's also recommending Jordan Howard, Jared Goff. Howard, again, not a lot of value when it comes to PPR. And so let's just look at running backs and see if there's any high upside running backs that might be of interest to us. And I'm just going down the list right now. Darrell Henderson, it says he's still going to be available here. If he makes it to our next pick, I definitely take him, along with Larry Fitzgerald. I think that'd be a great choice. Obviously we already have our quarterback, and in these smaller leagues, only take one quarterback, only take one tight end, and only take one kicker in defense. You don't need any more. The waiver wire will be filled with good options on a week-to-week basis if you decide to stream those positions. So don't even worry about it, but don't take more than one of each. Every other player you're picking, running back or wide receiver. So let me go ahead and get some of these guys queued up. I'll be right back, and we'll see where we're at and who we end up with. All right, so it's almost back to us, and my guys are still on the board. Darrell Henderson still on the board. Oh, someone just got taken. Who got taken? Cam Newton just got taken. But Darrell Henderson, Larry Fitzgerald, and Curtis Samuel, who is a high upside player. I really like the prospects on this guy. And, Larry is such a class act, right? He's such a great player. Curtis does not offer nearly as good a value, but I think he offers more upside. Look at that. Darrell Henderson did make it back to us. That is a steal. Let's take Henderson. Boy, do I want the veteran or do I want the up-and-comer? I'm going to go for upside here because I already like our top 2 wide receivers, and so let's go with Curtis Samuel. I just really like the Carolina offense. I think they're going to be really good this year. So let's jump back to the app. Okay, so let's go back. 11th and 12th round. Again, we're looking for high upside guys. Austin Hooper, tight end. We don't need one. We already got one. Jared Goff, quarterback. We already got him. Tyrell Williams. There's another great late round player. Tyrell Williams, value rank of 90. Again, inside the top 100. You want as many players as you can, and there's actually quite a few on this round. Well, there's some. You got Austin Hooper, Tyrell Williams, Dante Moncrief, and Michael Gallup. And here's Kiki Kuti also. Some of these guys I'm not recommending though, but look at the values on a lot of these guys. They're just terrible. These are guys that are never going to make any difference for fantasy football, just because they're not going to generate enough points for you to want to start them. I mean, they're just going to sit on your bench until you cut them in favor of someone else who's maybe doing a little bit better. So don't even bother with it. Now, let's look at just the running backs and see if there's any high upside guys. Again, not really. I mean, if you wanted to, you could maybe take a gamble on Carlos Hyde, maybe him taking the lead job from Williams, but I'm not too concerned about that. Let's look at wide receiver. So Tyrell Williams, definitely. We're going to target him. Oh, here's another high upside player, MVS, Marquez Valdez-Scantling. I love the idea of going with that as well. So why don't we target Tyrell and Marquez, and I'm going to go ahead and cue those guys up. We'll pause. We'll be right back when it's our turn to pick. All right, so we're back, and MVS did get taken early, so that was a shame. But Tyrell Williams still available, and I saw that Jaylen Samuels was appearing on the list, so I went ahead and I queued him up because, of course, we've got James Conner, and if Conner goes down, Jaylen Samuels, guess what? He's an RB1, and I think he might actually have standalone value this year regardless. So here's what we're going to do. Tyrell Williams, we'll take him. Jaylen Samuels, we will go ahead and take him too. And now we only have 2 slots left on our bench. So let's go to these final 2 rounds, and let's find ourselves. What I like to do is let's get a couple of running backs. We now have, let's hear the makeup of our team: 6 running backs, 4 wide receivers. I'm comfortable with 4 wide receivers. I think that's more than enough. So let's just look at running backs here. And this round, there's not a lot, but let's just look out like a round or so. Look, Kalen Ballage, Devin Singletary. We already picked Jaylen. Those guys, certainly Singletary and Ballage are worth a look. Who else? Damian Harris, who's injured right now. We got Justice Hill. That's another player I like. Alexander Madison. Darwin Thompson, there are Tony Pollard, if Zeke holds out, that's a guy who will be a 1 or a 2. I think probably a 2. But why don't we go ahead? Let's go for, I always like to look at, who's got the best offense. Why don't we go for, I'm going to do Tony Pollard just because there's still no resolution on the Zeke holdout. I think he'd be a great thing to hold, and should it not happen, you can slot Tony in week 1. And then let's go for Darwin Thompson because he's starting to make some noise, and I think he might be a good choice. So I'll do Pollard and Thompson. I'm going to pause the video. We'll come right back when it's our pick, and we'll see who we get. All right, so we're back. The only guy that didn't make it back to us was Kalen Ballage, but Tony Pollard is still available. Let's take him, and let's go ahead and take Darwin Thompson. Again, these guys are just total flyers, and if they don't work out, it's no skin off our nose. We can just toss them back onto the flex, onto the waiver wire, and that'll be good. So let's go ahead and look at defenses. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to pause the video. I'll choose the defense and kicker. We'll come back. We'll review the team. But I like this team. It's a pretty good team. I'll be right back. All right, so we're all done. I love this team. This is a great team. This would be great for my Instagram league if I end up with this team. So here's who I got. I got Baker Mayfield as my quarterback. My running backs, very deep: James Conner, Marlon Mack, David Montgomery, Austin Eckler, Darrell Henderson, Curtis Samuel, Jaylen Samuels, Tony Pollard, and Darwin Thompson. All of these guys, huge upside plays on my bench, man. I'm telling you, I can't believe I got every single one. Next up, wide receivers: Juju Smith-Schuster, Robby Anderson. Curtis Samuel. I called him a running back. He is not. Curtis Samuel and Tyrell Williams. Great wide receivers. All these guys are startable on any given week. I think that's fantastic. Our tight end is Zach Ertz. I went ahead and I got the Cowboys defense, and Will Lutz is my kicker. This team is sweet. It is loaded, and it has so much upside. I'd be very excited to bring a team like this in with me to this fantasy season. And there you have it. So thank you very much for watching. I know that these when you're on the horn on these sort of fantasy drafts, man, the draft goes quick. So anyway, thank you very much for watching. Please go to my website, fantasyfootballmaverick.com. Check out the app yourself. If you like it, subscribe. You can unlock all the features of the app. It will absolutely make a difference on draft day, and it will just change your game. You have a good draft that gives you the foundation for a solid year and a chance at a championship run. Believe me, it works. I have won 6 championships out of my past 12 leagues using this app. It does make all the difference in the world, helping you make the right decisions. So thank you very much for watching, and happy drafting, everybody.